Hi all. Picked up this 1968 Mustang off eBay. These Sweet 16 Mustangs are getting really expensive now. This beater set me back almost $30. $30 bought me a Mustang that has no back tires, a broken axle, a broken hood, and a ton of oxidation. But really it's quite a steal, given the fact that a halfway decent 1968 Mustang can cost you many hundreds of dollars. I don't want to spend that kind of money to get a nice Mustang, so we'll restore this one instead. So I have the car apart. Let's take a closer look at the hood and body. I can't really tell if the car was originally red and then oxidized to this deeper color, or if the car was originally magenta. I plan on painting it red either way. The hood is in good shape. The issue is with the crimped Zamac in the body. Somehow someone broke the clips without harming the hood. Usually it's the other way around. So we'll need to fix that in a bit. The rest of the parts are in not so bad shape. Let's get rid of the paint and see what we're working with. Well, as you may have guessed, a lot of oxidation. Most of it was hidden by the paint. This car is going to need some serious sanding to remove all that oxidation. I used 600 grit to start off, and then go to triple aught steel wool to get rid of most of it. Then go to a polishing wheel to get the final high shine. This took about 2 hours of methodical sanding and polishing, but in the end, I was able to remove most of the oxidation. Here you can see the car after polishing. If you look carefully, you can see some wavy discoloration in the roof. This is oxidation that has gone pretty deep into the metal. Since the metal on the roof is usually the thinnest in the car, my sanding is rather limited. However, even though Spectraflame paint is transparent, it's not completely transparent, and since I plan to put a rather thick coat of paint, there's a good chance a lot of this oxidation will be covered up. Any that remains will show up as toning, something that's expected in a car this old, so really not that big of a deal. Now we're at the point we need to fix the hood. There are a lot of ways to go about this: solder, JB weld, but for me, I'm going to go with a much more forgiving method and use hot glue. Yeah, I can hear you through the internet already. That's not a permanent fix. I know it's not. The issue here is one of forgiveness, and the fact that this car will more than likely never be played with again. It's going to sit in a glass case. It doesn't need a super strong compound. I just want something to hold the hood in place and let me open it on occasions. Hot glue is forgiving. If I mess up, I can use dental picks to remove the glue and try again. I can do this over and over until I get it perfect, something I can't do if I use other products like JB Weld. Plus I can cut the hot glue with a knife and remove parts that get in the way. Solder and JB Weld are not as forgiving, and if you mess up, you have a problem on your hands. This is not a cheap car, and I don't want a chance messing it up. Since I don't glue the rivets back, I can always take the car apart years later to repair it if the need arises. That all being said, you can use whatever you like to make the hood repair on your car. After the glue solidifies, it's off to the paint hood. While the paint dries, I'm going to work on the base and axles. This car still had both of its front wheels, and I want to exchange them for new wheels. The wheels on these original Hot Wheels were removable. However, this car was made in Hong Kong, and the cars that were made in Hong Kong are notorious for pulling out the bearings as you remove the wheels. If you look back at the beginning of this video, you'll notice that this car already had this issue with one of its back wheels. I get around this issue by simply using nippers or wire cutters to cut the wheel off. This ensures that you do not break the axle assembly. I do this on all cars, US or Hong Kong, as pulling the wheels off is just too dangerous. It's very likely you will break something if you try yanking the wheels off of these old cars. By the way, a quick tip: if you have carpet hairs or human hairs wrapped around the axle and want to get rid of them super fast, a simple flame will take them off in less than a second. So here's the car body painted and the base cleaned up. Let's start with the car body. It has about 15 super thin coats of Spectraflame urethane paint. I get people asking if I use a primer. The short answer is no. The urethane paint uses a hardener that, once it sets up, is extremely durable, much more than a primer. Plus you really can't use a primer, as the metal is the backing that gives the paint its characteristic metallic shine. On the base I use a new method to get it to look shiny and new. I'll show this off in a future video. but for now, it's about where I'd like to have it for this particular vehicle. So now all the parts are ready and we can put the car back together. On the base, I've gone ahead and put on the wheels and the axles. I decided to do nothing on the windshield as it came out looking rather nice after a good scrubbing. I changed the interior plastic to white as I really didn't care for the original gray plastic it had. This will make the car a custom now, but that's fine as it really became a custom the moment I drilled the rivets out anyway. I sprayed the car body with Tester's gloss coat to get that final shine that Spectraflame paint is known for. Alright, so all we gotta do is put it together. I put a little bit more effort in this car than I would if say it was a Python or a Peeping Bomb. They're becoming rather rare now, which is one of the reasons they're commanding the prices that they are. So unlike other vehicles, I can't find these in bargain bins, either at shows or online. This is one of the few cars that even restored can sometimes command a nice price, sometimes $50 or $75, probably from people who want a nice and shiny example that don't want to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get it. This is why I had to pay $30 for junk. Sellers know people will restore them and price the cars accordingly to get their cut. That all being said, there can be a little bit of money to be made for those out there who want to give restoring Hot Wheels a try, though I would highly recommend you start with another car, not this one. Anyway, the final result for this car is as good as I could get it, given what I had to start with. It has a couple pinholes and oxidation that I couldn't remove without doing real damage to the body. Some bumps and nicks, especially on the sharp corners of the front and back hood and bumpers, could not be completely removed. But all in all, the car came out rather nice, in my opinion. Please give me your opinion below, and if you like this video, please reflect that by clicking on the thumbs up button. And as always, thanks for watching.